So then, off the back of Arsenal beating Sporting Lisbon by 1-0, in my fan cam, I was heavily praising David Raya after getting man of the match, and that praise will continue through to today because we are doing a whole video going through the numbers of how good this guy actually was yesterday. And I plan to do another video on David Raya in the near future, talking about his rise through football. So if you want to watch that, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. David Raya's performance last night has led to headlines such as these here from the BBC and Sky Sports and these other news outlets. Is he the best goalkeeper in the world? Unbelievable David Raya. David Raya is the best goalkeeper in the world. Best player on the pitch. David Raya makes the difference. All of these headlines here are David Raya sort of focused because he was that good. And I truly believe that he is well within the right to be spoken about in the world-class category now for goalkeepers. I think he's that good. Best in the Premier League? We can have that conversation. World-class? We can have that one as well. So these are the numbers, rough statistics from FOTMob. I've taken these from FOTMob. Shout out to FOTMob. And it goes over the top stats here and more individual here. So he made 5 saves and he was faced up against 1.57 expected goals, which means he prevented a goal, basically. Sporting definitely had good opportunities to take the lead during the game, and David Raya was there to save us. You can see here his distributions was pretty good as well. 93% passing accuracy. 3 or 4 of his long balls were accurate, and David Raya has been praised throughout his Arsenal career when it comes to distribution. So there's nothing that's changed there. And I tend to think that David Raya's best trait is cross-claiming and stuff like that. And it actually says here that he didn't claim any high balls. So yeah, that's a bit interesting. But recoveries and clearances and acting as a sweeper keeper, all of that stuff he did really well in. And this is also from FOTMob. It's a momentum graph. And what I want to do quickly here, so the red is Arsenal and then the green is Sporting, obviously. I don't know if this is going to have some sort of colourblind problems. So basically the bottom is Arsenal, the top is Sporting, and it's a momentum graph. And it basically shows, which team was on top at certain points during the game, and sort of where, you hear the phrase, the run of play. It's basically the run of play. As you can see here, this little bump here shows that Sporting, let me turn the pointer on. I don't know if you can actually see my mouse. You probably can, but if not, then look. So this little here, this gap here is Sporting, where they've come forward. Here's another big spike here from where Sporting had a good opportunity. And then this stuff here is, when Arsenal were in possession. Let's say that. Now, obviously, these big spikes here from Arsenal, we didn't really create anything in that first half. It was very much passing within our own defensive half, and David Raya was definitely a part of that, and he looked comfortable in it, whereas Kepa in recent weeks, I don't think has looked as comfortable in possession. So David Raya obviously does bring that to Arsenal. So yeah, this is basically what I'm trying to get out of this, is that Sporting during the match had pretty good momentum, and it has been like that for a couple of weeks. However, the difference is David Raya has kept us in the game here. And as you can see here, we're going to talk about a chance that's come through this way over here. Right at the start, he's on it and he's making that world-class save. And he was doing it again right at the end here when they were entering our penalty box once more. So, yeah, it is a really interesting thing, the momentum graph, and it does show that the match was going both ways. Arsenal having a lot of possession, but Sporting, I actually thought played really well as well. This is a little bit irrelevant, but I just wanted to put in for a bit of humour. Jamie O'Hara, who's obviously been, I think, anti-Arsenal all season, hasn't included David Raya in his top 5 goalkeepers. Which, look, fair enough, it's an opinion and people are going to have that opinion, but to put goalkeepers like Alisson and Pickford in the top 5 at the minute and David Raya not, like, even, albeit it's one game, but I'm looking at that Emirates performance, Arsenal against Everton. David Raya was definitely the better of the 2 goalkeepers, that's for sure. So, including the Pickford and not Raya, I just found it a little bit funny, to be fair. I'm surprised Vicario didn't make the list, to be fair. And I wonder how the Van der Ven and Romero shouts for best centre back in partnership in the league are going. Anyway, let's focus on what we're actually here for. For me, over the last 2 seasons, the best goalkeeper in the world, Kai Havertz, salutes teammate David Raya after his performance against Sporting. Yeah, he's got the backing from his teammates. He's got the backing from his coaching staff as well, and Mikel Arteta, who's obviously, we've seen Mikel Arteta and the way he treated Aaron Ramsdale. David Raya, sorry, hasn't had that treatment. He's been given the chance, and look, even though he had a slightly rough first season at Arsenal, he's come back and he's fought his way back, and he's looking irreplaceable at the minute. And we're going to talk about that first save now. A little bit of analysis. Let's turn the pen on. Make it. I was going to make it green, but the pitch is green. Black will do. So this here is Diamande. And as you can see, he's just made that pass. And I want to focus on this pass because it is truly brilliant. He's able to get it up off the ground and in between these 2 Arsenal players here in William Saliba and Ben White, who's over here somewhere. Ben White's down in there. And then the left back's able to make this run here in between the 2. And I think it's actually quite poor from Ben White, to be honest with you, to allow this movement to happen. So the left back starting in this sort of area here, maybe a little bit further down here. Obviously, it's not a full screen shot. But he's able to make that run, and he's then positioned himself in a very good area here. You can see Ben White has started to come across now. And you can see here he was in and around the penalty box, just outside of it. And he's able to shoot. And he's going for this sort of top corner here. But David Raya makes a world-class save here to deny him. I've done a bit of maths and a rough estimation calculation for how fast this shot was actually going. And it's very quick. So the reflexes that David Raya shows here to just get a touch onto the ball and tip it onto the bar, truly brilliant. Truly brilliant from David Raya. So let's just go through the speed of the shot to really put into perspective how good of a pass that was. As I just try and turn the pen off. Turn off the pen. There we go. So we got to estimate the distance. So let's go back to here. He's in and around the penalty box. I've called that around 18 to 20 meters. So we'll just call it in the middle at 19. So that's the distance. We then got to sort of estimate the time of the shot. So from the moment it's made contact with his foot to when it strikes the bar, it's obviously very, very, very difficult to do this. But based off of replays, I've kind of got it around 0.5 of a second. So half of a second, we'll call it that. So obviously to calculate the speed, we've taken those 2 units and we've divided distance by time. And it comes out, if we use the midpoint sort of estimations, it comes out at about 39.5 meters a second, which is 88 miles per hour. 88 miles per hour. From 20 meters, 88 miles per hour on a shot is very, very dangerous for the defending team, because if it's on target, 9 times out of 10 that shot's going in. But David Raya has done just about enough to keep it out, and he's made that save that I reckon only 10% of goalkeepers would. And not only is that impressive, look, I could pick out a whole bunch of saves that David Raya made in the game yesterday, but I just wanted to point that one out because I thought that was the best of the lot and fantastic. He was then asked in an interview after the game, how much do you believe Arsenal can win the Champions League? And he says that he believes, well, we believe 100% that we can win it. That's the kind of attitude and mentality that you want going into the final couple of months of the season, I think. And I remember a couple of years ago, it was after the Porto game, after the penalty shootout, which he was immense in as well. He got asked a similar question. Would you rather win the Premier League or the Champions League? And he said both. So this guy has got the mentality, and you need players like that if you're going to win the major honours. I'm looking at you, Kepa. But yeah, it's just a little bit unnecessary. It's not unnecessary digs at Kepa, but you know, we move. So yeah, David Raya for me. That is the numbers behind his incredible performance last night at Sporting. I think he is a brilliant, brilliant goalkeeper, and hopefully we can have him for the foreseeable future, because he has been brilliant this season. He was brilliant last season, and he is making a strong claim to be Arsenal Player of the Season. My name's Tom. I've been the 14th Cannon. As I said, I plan to do another video on David Raya fairly soon. So if you want to see that and you like your goalkeeping content, please do subscribe. Leave a like on the way out so I know that you're interested, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.